There's a 25% chance this goes, his words, really, really badly. The man who said that runs the most valuable AI startup on Earth. He said it on a stage in Washington, on the record. Then he raised another $65 billion to build the thing faster. Why do the people most afraid of the machine build it hardest? The answer starts with 11 resignation letters. The quietest defection in Silicon Valley happened during Christmas week, December 2020. OpenAI is white hot. GPT-3 has just stunned the industry. And the man who ran the research behind it, Vice President of Research Dario Amodei, walks out the door. His sister Daniela, Vice President of Safety and Policy, walks with him. Then the bench follows. Tom Brown, lead author of the GPT-3 paper. Chris Olah, the interpretability researcher everyone cites. Jack Clark, the policy director. By the time the trade press counted, 11 people had left the building. No manifesto, no burn it down blog post. Years later, Dario finally hands Bloomberg's Emily Chang a sentence with edges. When you don't share the same vision and don't trust someone, there is little value in continuing the argument. The person he stopped trusting was Sam Altman. It's the same fire Ilya Sutskever would press a button over 3 years later. This group didn't press buttons. They filed paperwork. January 26, 2021, a new company incorporates, named from the Greek word for human. Here's the part that should stop you. These were the safety people, leaving a company they worried was reckless to build the same technology faster. They didn't run from the fire. They left to build a bigger one and hold the hose themselves. Every startup calls itself a family. This one is literally a family business. Dario, Princeton doctorate, then a career spent chasing the biggest wave in the building. Baidu in 2014, doing speech recognition under Andrew Ng Google Brain in 2015. OpenAI in 2016, rising to the top research job and co-inventing the training technique that makes chatbots usable at all. Daniela, an English literature degree, a congressional campaign in Pennsylvania. Stripe in 2013, working Risk while it became the payments layer of the Internet. OpenAI in 2018, running safety and policy. One sibling builds the engine, the other builds the brakes. Now they own the car. He's CEO, she's president, and 8 former OpenAI people hold founder titles. 5 years on, not one founder has walked. In an industry where founders shed each other like ballast, that's either loyalty or a family that truly believes it's carrying something the rest of us can't be trusted with. Both can be true. Both are load-bearing. Their argument deserves a fair hearing, so here it is, played straight. Powerful AI is coming whether or not Anthropic exists. The physics works. The money is committed. Someone will build it. So the real question isn't, should this exist? It's, who holds the frontier when it does? Dario calls the strategy a race to the top. If the most safety-obsessed lab stays in front and proves careful can win, everyone else gets pulled upward. As he framed it on Lex Fridman's podcast, it's not about being the good guy, it's about setting things up so all of us can be the good guy, and the receipts for sincerity are real. Constitutional AI 2022, Training the Model Against Written Principles. The Responsible Scaling Policy 2023, Self-imposed tripwires for dangerous capabilities. System cards that voluntarily publish their own model's worst behaviors. Ammunition used mostly by people making videos like this one. In October 2024, Dario wrote 15,000 words called Machines of Loving Grace, a country of geniuses in a data center, curing cancer, doubling lifespans. Read it and you won't find a cynic. You'll find a believer. Hold on to that. It matters later. Safety is expensive. Salvation is more expensive, and somebody has to invoice for it. May 2021, $124 million, led by Skype co-founder John Tallinn. Respectable. Then April 2022, $580 million. and the story acquires its first asterisk. $500 million came from Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. The safety company's rocket fuel was staked by a crypto exchange that collapsed 7 months later, playing, it turned out, with customer deposits. To be fair, the stake was reportedly non-voting, and when the bankruptcy estate sold it in 2024, roughly $1.3 billion, the money went toward repaying the people FTX defrauded. Anthropic broke no rules, but mark the pattern. The mission keeps requiring money, and the money keeps arriving with asterisks. Then the clouds moved in. Google, $300 million, then $2 billion, then this spring up to $40 billion. Amazon, $8 billion, then up to 25 more. Microsoft, up to $5 billion. And watch the circle. Amazon invests billions. Anthropic commits over $100 billion back to Amazon's cloud. Microsoft invests $5. Anthropic commits $30 billion to Azure. The money orbits, and every lap the valuation climbs. $380 billion in the winter, $965 billion by May. Guarding the mission sits the Long-Term Benefit Trust. 5 trustees at launch, no equity, no salary, the power to appoint the board's majority. Sounds unbreakable. Except Anthropic's own announcement describes a failsafe. A supermajority of stockholders can rewrite the trust's rules. The guardrail has a hinge. Remember the hinge. Now hold the warnings against the calendar. May 2025, Dario tells Axios that AI could erase half of all entry-level white-collar jobs within 5 years, spike unemployment to 10 or 20%, and that the industry should stop, quote, sugarcoating it. September 2025. The 25% line at an Axios summit. And the shipping schedule under all that fear? Claude Code launches in 2025 and hits $1 billion in annualized revenue within 6 months. Arguably the fastest growing software product ever. Company run rate, $87 million in January 2024, $30 billion by April 2026. They planned for 10x growth. They got 80. Then June 4th, 2026, Anthropic's own institute publishes a report proposing the world coordinate an option to pause frontier AI because models are getting close to improving themselves. Its evidence includes a confession. More than 80% of the code merged at Anthropic is now written by Claude. You've heard the cynical read, a global pause is a comfortable proposal for whoever's ahead. The internet did that math inside a week. Here's what it missed. 5 days after proposing the pause option, Anthropic shipped Fable 5, the most capable model it had ever released, and the pause report's co-author is a man named Jack Clark. Hold that name. He's run this play before at the other company. They have run this play before, almost beat for beat. Valentine's Day 2019. OpenAI unveils GPT-2 and declares it too risky to fully release. Headlines scream too dangerous. 9 months later, the full model ships, and civilization survives. You know that story. It's a throwaway line in every AI video. Here's the part that never makes the cut. The research org that built GPT-2 reported to OpenAI's VP of Research, Dario Amodei, who, by several accounts, personally urged holding it back, and the staged release was managed by the policy director, Jack Clark. The same 2 men. Now run the tape forward to 2026. Anthropic reveals Mythos, a model it says is too dangerous for the public, while NBC News reports it runs quietly inside roughly 150 hand-picked organizations under a program called Project Glasswing. The public gets the sanitized version. Governments get more. The Pentagon signed a $200 million Claude contract, then branded Anthropic a supply chain risk when it refused mass surveillance and autonomous weapons. And the Financial Times reported 6 Anthropic engineers embedded inside the NSA, helping the agency use Mythos for what the FT's sources describe as offensive operations. The NSA declined to comment. Confronted with the obvious accusation, Dario told Bloomberg, The idea that this is cheap marketing is itself cheap marketing. Maybe. But the first run of this play cost nothing. The second is worth about $1 trillion. The defectors now have defectors of their own. February 9th, 2026. Marinank Sharma, who led Anthropic's safeguards research team, resigns with a public letter. The world is in peril, he writes, and inside the safest lab in the industry, his team constantly faced pressures to set aside what matters most. 16 days later, Time reports Anthropic has dropped the flagship pledge of its safety policy, the promise never to train a model unless its protections were proven adequate in advance. The new standard: stay at least as safe as the competition. Remember the Hinge? This is what hinges are for. To their credit, they publish the rewrite openly, reasoning that pausing while others sprint makes the world less safe. Read that twice. It's the founding argument, the reason they left OpenAI, redeployed to unpromise the promise. So, why do the people most afraid of the machine build it hardest? 2 answers. They wear the same face. Answer 1, because it's the only responsible move left inside an arms race. If the frightened quit, only the fearless hold the frontier, and fearless is the last thing you want. Under this answer, every contradiction dissolves. You ship fast because leading is the mechanism. You go public because $100 billion cloud bills don't pay themselves. You soften pledges because a dead safety lab protects no one. Answer 2. Because if it's coming anyway, better it's us, is the most seductive story a brilliant person can tell themselves, good enough to raise $965 billion, and good enough that the tellers may believe every word. Here's the bleak part. From the outside, you cannot tell the answers apart. Both produce identical behavior: the warnings, the shipping, the IPO. And the race doesn't care which one is true. The race only cares that everyone keeps running. Everyone building this technology eventually says the same sentence. Listen for it. If it's coming anyway, better it's us. Dario said it about OpenAI, so he built Anthropic. Sam said it about Google, so he built OpenAI. Every lab is someone's safety exodus, and every exodus builds the next lab. The sentence never fails to justify an accelerator. Before you judge them, be honest. If you believed the machine was coming and believed your hands were more careful than the next pair, you'd say it too. That's what makes it work. Maybe Dario Amodei is exactly what he appears to be, a true believer gripping the wheel of something too big to steer, because letting go feels worse than holding on. One man inside this story believed that sentence for a decade, then pressed a button over it. His name is Ilya Sutskever, and the day he pulled the alarm, it nearly burned OpenAI to the ground. That story is right here.